farm, and today it was a request from a couple of our viewers, and one, she's brand new to canning. She's going to start this canning journey this year, and she wanted me to go through the steps of getting a pressure canner up to speed in working. So in the process, I'll be doing 2 videos out of this one video, so that way she could understand the process. And every pressure canner, and this is for Salty Girl, every pressure canner is different. They're made differently from different manufacturers, and the one that we're going to use today is my Presto. And each pressure canner has different levels of water you put in. This one here is like 3 inches. So what I normally do, and I use it by quarts, and I usually just put in 3 quarts of water. So you need to look at your manual that comes with your pressure canner and read how many inches or by volume of water your pressure canner needs to be able to process your jars. So we're going to get started, and you guys bear with me. And also, Debbie Sims, I will bring out my old war horse, my All-American, so you can see her, and I'll show you what she looks like and all. And she's 75 years old, so you know, she's not bright and shiny anymore. She's been used and well loved. I've had her for 25 years, and the person I got her from, I got her used. They had her for a good 50 years and used her really well. So I'm thinking about maybe retiring her. I'm not sure. I gotta save up the money to get another All-American. I mean, it's pretty expensive canner, but it's well worth the money. I mean, it does last long. Well, any pressure canner will last long as you take care of it. And I showed you a video on that on my Presto canner. Well, anyway, let's get on to this so Salty Girl knows what she's getting into. Okay, I'll see you in a second. Okay, this is the bottom of my 23 quart pressure canner, and this is an older model. She's over 20 years old, and she came with this little basket. I guess I would call it. That's what you would put in and use for your jars. But I upgraded her. I use these now, and I put this in the bottom, and then I'll fill her up with my 3 quarts of water, and we'll start getting it warmed up, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I'm going to start filling her up with 3 quarts of water. That's one. And I'm starting with warm water because it's going to be a hot canner with hot jars and hot content. And this is about a quart. And that's my second one. And one more. And it's pretty easy to do. A lot of people are very scared because of all the old stories they heard about pressure canners exploding, and which it happened, and to this day it can happen. but it's very rare because they have a lot of more features on them. Like this one, that's a little over 20. Well, new ones now have a bigger button on the back side here. It's a safety button, but my safety button is right here, and it pops up when it's under pressure, and then when it is not under pressure, it's down. So this will pop up. So I have my 3 quarts of water in, and I'm going to turn on my burner to about a medium, just to get it warmed up enough. And then I'm going to process some canning jars. These up, and we're going to go to 1-inch headspace. This is 1 inch, okay? This first little rim. Boy, they were hot. So we're going to fill them up. Start this chicken broth here. Okay, we're going to debubble. And debubbling, you're trying to get all the bubbles out as much as possible, and moving this stuff around. It'll help release the bubbles. And I have vinegar in my little cup here, and we're going to wipe the rims. And working with grease and stuff like that, you want to use vinegar. It will cut it so you can get a good seal. And like always, I heat my lids. And these lids came with the little jars. So they're just plain little gold lids. And they work just as good. And it's just finger tight. And we're going to put them in the canner. Little jars in your canner. Just keep filling it up until you have your canner filled. So once you have all your jars in your canner and your water is still hot, not boiling, just hot, just to keep your hot jars and your hot food so it won't have any thermo shock and break your jars. You take the rest of your vinegar that you use and you pour it in your canner. Okay? And then with your lid, if it has a gasket on it, you need to oil that up. And here's your rubber gasket around your lid. You want to oil that all the time. I normally oil it every time I pressure can. And you just rub it on. You could use Vaseline. I don't have any on hand, so I'm using cooking oil that I have. And I'm just running it around with my fingers and just lubricating it up. And I do this all the time before I start canning. And Debbie Sims, the All-American canner, it doesn't have a seal. And I'll be showing you guys this in that canner here in a few minutes, once we get this one going. Alright, so now we got that all lubricated and ready to go. We're going to put it on the canner. Okay, put it on the right way, and you line it up, and the Presto canner, you just want to turn it, and then it locks in, just like this. So your handles are even right across from each other, and this is where the steam will be coming out, okay? Once we get it steaming. And we gotta let it steam a steady stream for 10 minutes. So I'm gonna turn up my heat up to like medium high, and I leave it there. I don't go any higher than that. And it's a slower process, but it works. So, yeah. So anyway, I'll bring you back when it's steaming, so you can see it, okay? I don't know if you can see that, but we're having a steady flow of steam. So we're going to set the timer for 10 minutes, and we're going to let this steam like this for 10 minutes, then we'll put our weight on. I can at 15 pounds of pressure, so here's my little weight gauge thing, and when this gets to 10 minutes, we'll plop this little guy on. So I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes. Alright, I'll see you back in 10. Okay, the timer's going off. So we're going to turn it off, and we're going to take our little weight, and we're going to plop it on the back. Not burn myself. So that's going to stay on until this needle reaches 15. Then we'll set our timer again for 75 minutes because we're canning meat. I pressure can at 15. You need to know your altitude, and you can go on the internet, use your favorite search engine, and just type in my altitude for your zip code. You could go to like the Almanac, Farmer's Almanac. You could check on USDA. They have listings. So mine's at 15, so that's what I can on. So yeah, check your altitude, and you can at that. Okay, the canner is just a hair past 15, so it's like 16. So we're going to start the canner for 75 minutes, the timer I mean. So, whoop. That's going to be an hour and 15 minutes. And we're going to process that for the whole 75 minutes. And you have to find the sweet spot on your stove. So you have to keep adjusting. Right now, my stove on that burner is on number 4. I did start it on 7. So I've been slowly cranking it down. Normally, before it's all ended, it's between 4 and 3. It all depends how high the humidity, moisture is in the air, because we're in Oregon and it rains a lot. So right now, she's holding steady. So we're going to go ahead and process this, and I'll bring you back when they're coming out of the canner. Okay, the canner is done. Turn off the timer. Now you turn off your burner, and you let this come down naturally. So don't touch it. Don't touch the jiggler in the back or your weight. Just let it come down. It'll take about 45 minutes to an hour. And I usually go like an hour and a half, just to be on the safe side. Just let it out. And then take off your weight. Wait 5 minutes. And then crack open your lid and let it sit ajar. I know this is a longer process, but it shows that you don't have, no siphoning, or you can get some. It all depends. But if you go slow, it'll be fine. Then you just crack your lid, wait another 5 minutes, take off your lid, let your jars sit there for another 5 minutes with the lid off. And then it'll acclimate to your temperature in your room, and then you can take out your jars and put them on your counter, and then you let those set for 24 hours. So always let this cool off by itself. Don't pick it up, put it in the sink and spray water on it. Don't do that, because then you're gonna have a mess. So just let it go all natural. Don't even touch anything. Just let it do its whistling, hissing, whatever sound it's making. And you'll hear it's still boiling in there. So it'll take a few minutes. Like I said, 45 minutes to an hour, but I usually go an hour and a half. And take off our little weight. And you can't hear any steam coming out. It's been almost 2 hours since the canner stopped. I'm going to crack it a little bit. And we're going to let that sit for about another 5 minutes, and then we'll take the lid off. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. We're going to take the lid off. Always away from you. And we're going to start bringing out the jars. Okay, we got some pinging going on. That's really great. And then you just take out your jars, hon. And always have a cloth underneath, so you're not burning your hands and you're not walking with hot item. And then you just put it on another towel and let it sit overnight until in the morning, and then you take off your bands and you wash up your jars, and then you put them in your pantry once they're dry. And that's all it is to canning in a pressure canner. So if you have any more questions, feel free to ask. I'll try to explain. See, hear the popping? Yeah. So anyway, I hope this helped you. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys, for hanging out with me today and going on this little journey and with Salty Girl, and hopefully she'll stick around with canning and maybe ask some more questions, and y'all feel free to jump in and answer if you can. That would be great. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye now.